Election day, voters in Ohio will be asked to approve a measure that would make possessing some drugs a misdemeanor instead of a felony.
Now, those drugs include fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Today, some local elected officials got together to tell you to vote no. Anjanette Levy is here to explain why. Anjanette?
Well, Cammie, along with reclassifying drug possession from a felony to a misdemeanor, Issue 1 would allow nonviolent offenders to have their prison sentences reduced by 25% if they're taking part in some type of programming. But some local elected officials say it goes much further than that.
It's bad news for Ohio.
Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Deters says Issue 1 is deeply flawed. It would prohibit jail time as a sentence for possessing or using drugs until the third offense within 24 months. It would also allow those already convicted of a felony offense to ask the court to reduce it to a misdemeanor.
The only motivation I can find for doing this is it just seems like the state wants to clean out the jails.
Supporters of Issue 1 say it would save tens of millions of dollars spent on prisons each year, and those savings would be directed to rehab programs for drug addicts.
There's so much investment in punishing people and locking them up in prison cells, and so little investment in the healing that people need to transform their lives.
Stephen Johnson Grove of the Ohio Justice and Policy Center supports Issue 1 and says the legislature hasn't done enough to deal with the drug epidemic. He also says it doesn't keep prosecutors from charging drug dealers. Part of the campaign is being funded by Democratic activist George Soros and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. Hamilton County's coroner says Issue 1 goes too far.
And we're all on the same page on this. We want to help the addicts. But a constitutional amendment that's going to be really difficult to change in the future if the voters want to, I don't think that's the answer.
Meanwhile, Deters says Hamilton County already has 28 alternative sentencing programs for people who possess drugs.
This myth that there's low-level drug offenders in prison is simply that. It is a myth. It may be well-intended, but in Hamilton County, we actively pursue alternatives than jail. We actively do it. Treatment, the drug court has been a huge success.
Now, the people who were standing at today's press conference were a mix of Democrats and Republicans. They say this isn't about politics, it's simply about safety. But this has become an issue in the race for governor. Democrat Rich Cordray supports Issue 1, while Republican candidate Mike DeWine opposes it. Cammie?
All right, Anjanette, thank you. And similar ballot initiatives have passed in Alaska, California, Connecticut, Oklahoma, and Utah.